Two men journey to the bars and restaurants of Scandinavia to find amazing beers, always with the same question.
Hey, what's on tap?
It's time to find out.
Hello and welcome back to What's on Tap podcast, where once again I'm Martin and Stefan in front of me are going to drink some beers.
We are. And I'm very excited about these beers.
Because this time I brought both of them.
Ooh,
that's always a treat for you.
It's always a treat for me because I don't know what you bring. My fridge beer is the beer fridge is rather low at the moment. So most of my stuff is just things I haven't gotten around to drinking, which either you've purchased through Systembolaget like I have, or we had at some other point. I just haven't gotten around to drinking something we've already had. Yeah,
but I can usually find some golden gems whenever I meet up with you. But the first beer is actually from Systembolaget. It's we've been getting for like a year now. We've been getting a lot of Brewdog Overworks.
It's the only Brewdog beers, like new Brewdog beers, we get basically anymore.
Yeah,
are the Overworks beers. I don't know what happened to Brewdog. Like, are they just not brewing beers, like exciting beers anymore? They're just like resting on their laurels and just reproducing the same kind of beers over and over again, or
I think they are.
Because I haven't seen anything new from Brewdog, and it feels like a year at least, maybe more. So where they used to have like new exciting stuff at least a couple times a month, this is Systembolaget. I can't even remember the last Brewdog beer that I saw that I was like, "Oh, I want to try that."
Me neither.
But Overworks, they've been popping these bad boys out on a regular basis.
Yeah, some are very vinegar acidic, some are very nice and fruity. And this is the Jackalope King, a Scottish sour ale fermented with blueberries and gorse flowers aged in red wine barrels.
So we had to look up what a gorse flower was, because at first I thought it was a misprint.
Oh, you don't know what a gorse flower is?
Neither one of us knew what a gorse flower was, but it's a yellow flower that is part of the like evergreen plants of some sort that grows in Europe and I want to say parts of Africa.
Oh wow! Okay.
Reading about it did not excite me with thrill me with like, ooh, this should be fun. But it is a different experience and should hopefully add something different to the beer that we haven't tried before.
It might give subtle floral notes.
Yeah, no, I definitely smelled kind of a perfumey floral note to it on the nose.
Yeah, it doesn't smell that acidic. Let's try it.
All right, cheers. Cheers. Yeah,
it smells a little fruity.
The color is kind of like a plum.
Kind of beautiful.
Yeah, it's a plummish red, magenta kind of color, I guess.
So very acidic in the flavor.
But not like puckeringly like, oh my god, it's so acidic. Kind of
puckering.
A little bit, but I wouldn't say off-putting. It's not like a brewery Taru beer, which is kind of like just like a kick in the teeth from a mule kind of sour.
No, it's very sour. It's 6.5 ABV, by the way. Mm-hmm. Very sour, but then a kind of a sweetness takes over. It's a quite nice transition.
I'm going to say a word and see if you agree with me. Smultron.
Wild strawberries.
Yes. What do you think?
That it tastes smultron?
Yeah.
No. But it doesn't taste like blueberries. That's for sure.
Yep.
It's meant to. It contains blueberries.
For me, it has kind of that wild strawberry flavor to it. To me, it has more of a subtle strawberry sour flavor to it than it does blueberries.
Maybe that's just a combination of the fruit, red wine, floral notes.
That's what I'm thinking in particular, because this has. I wouldn't say it doesn't taste like strawberries in its own, much like Smultron doesn't really taste like a strawberry.
Wild strawberries and strawberries are very different.
Yeah. That's why I said that in particular, because that, to me, is more of it's a bit more acidic kind of a berry.
Yes.
And this...
Yeah. No, wild strawberries are so sweet. I would say a strawberry is more acidic.
Depends on the kind of strawberries
and ripeness level.
True, but this is
it's pretty fun.
I quite like it. It's hard to put words to it, as you can see as we're arguing over descriptors here.
Yeah.
Because it is. It's like, I guess you do kind of have this wild blueberry flavors to it. That's I'm assuming is coming from the gorse flowers.
Maybe
because you need a certain perfumey adjunctness to bolster a blueberry flavor, because blueberries, they don't really have a lot of flavor in them.
No.
Like everybody's like, oh well, Swedish blueberries taste more than American.
Yeah, blah blah.
Sure,
blah,
whatever. I mean, but blueberries just are not a really dominant flavor berry. It's not like a blackberry or a red currant or a raspberry, something like that. Blueberries are very, very mild and subtle. So if you have something that's kind of a floral note to it, it's going to bolster that blueberry essence, I think, quite a bit. And I think the red wine also plays into that quite a bit. And it's not dry like you get, for me, with a lot of wine cask aged beers.
No, I was just going to say, red wine barreling in beers often makes me disappointed.
Yeah.
When it's in a stout, I'm usually disappointed.
Almost always.
And in Belgian beers, like Abbey beers and stuff, usually it makes them weird. Here, sorry. Here it actually works. This is the way to use red wine barrels, where you have it's complementing the sourness.
I think any kind of wild ale wine barrels just boost that vinous, winey kind of notes to it that just complement the beer in many, many ways. And I think the red wine barrels here complement the blueberries and the gorse flowers, which we still don't know what those are really.
I think I'm going to give it a 4.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think it's a 4, maybe low 4.25 kind of.
Okay.
It's really pleasant. It's super drinkable. It's, for me, it's not super sour. It's just right on the sour edge, which keeps me kind of intrigued and drinking and wanting a little more. I think it's an excellent beer.
Yeah. So, remind me, a jackalope is a bunny with antlers.
Right. So it's a jackrabbit, which is a large, we call it a hare here.
Yes.
With antlers. And
but
so
the picture has wings.
They would have no wings. Well, this is like more of a mythological version of a kind of a satanic version. There's also a really long tail, which a jackalope would not have.
No.
And so what happened was, when city folk would come out to the country, people would be like, "Oh, do you want to go jackalope hunting?" Also, snipe hunting could be another way to do it. I'm sure there's a Swedish version of this as well, where you take idiots out into the woods and then you leave them and tell them to hunt for something that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you take their money and give them an experience. So what people would do was a taxidermist had heard about this, and he found a rabbit or a hare, and then he attached antlers to it, small antlers to it, and the jackalope became a real manifestation that people could look at and point to and go, "Oh, that's a thing that exists." And so if you've grown up in particularly rural Arkansas or rural Texas, you can see jackalopes for purchase in various locations, heads mounted on plaques for you to take home with you.
It's very it's nice where mythological creature has the weird feature on its head. That's when you can really mount it, because you just take a hare and you put antlers on it.
Exactly.
It's much more difficult with like a griffon that we've always had, because then you would just have an eagle's head.
Exactly. And you have to mount it to a lion's body.
Yeah, but you wouldn't have a lion's body on your wall.
No, you wouldn't.
That wouldn't work.
No.
But it's fun. It's a fun beer.
Yeah, I quite enjoy it.
And the next one I've been saving up for a special occasion, and this seemed like a special occasion.
Yes, this is from the Silver Series
of the Pühaste.
Pühaste, yeah.
Pühaste, they are Estonian, right?
Yes. Yes.
we've been talking recently about other Estonian. Me and Stefan have been talking about other Estonian brewers. But Pühaste, they make their Silver Series Imperial Stout series. And this is the Trinity in Black Bourbon Barrel Aged 2019 edition.
Yes.
Which is collaboratively brewed with Zagovor and Brew, both from Russia.
Who we both have enjoyed many times.
Yeah, we
on
love
the
them.
show and privately.
Exactly. And this beer is a Heaven Hill barrel-aged version of their Trinity in Black. Oh no, the ingredients list isn't on the bottle, but I just had it. It has a lot of weird ingredients. It is, I have it here, Imperial Stout with tonka beans, cacao nibs, vanilla, cinnamon, and lactose. I'm scared of the cinnamon.
I'm not.
But the beer has a very high average worldwide.
It smells so good. You get the...
It definitely smells of cinnamon and maybe tonka beans.
I'm saying, definitely getting tonka beans and cinnamon off of this. A little bit of bourbon, vanilla kind of booziness.
But with the Silver Series, my experience is that they usually taste better than they smell.
Oof.
So let's try it. Cheers.
That is a rich, cinnamony, sweet, boozy.
It's 13.5% ABV.
Yeah.
And you can tell.
Yeah. This is excellent.
I really like this one. But it exactly, because we've had boozy beers where we say, ooh, it's boozy, and we decrease the rating. In some beers, it just works. In some beers, it doesn't go into the pure vodka kind of territory. Sometimes it's just this warming feeling that activates your mouth.
Yeah. This is a sipping beer. This is not a drink really fast beer. And the reason I say that is I think if you were to... Because I took 2 sips back to back really fast.
Yep.
And doing it that way, the cinnamon becomes a little more perfumey and the booziness becomes a little more vodka-y, as you described it. But
when you overload.
Right. But if you just sit back, allow yourself to enjoy this beer over time, maybe sip it over the course of an hour or so, I think you're really going to find this very, very rewarding.
It's on the edge of cinnamon amount for me. If it were a little bit more, I would say, it's too cinnamony.
Because cinnamon can be quite tough in a beer.
Yes.
Either you don't get it at all, or you get so much that it becomes perfumey. And the difference is, I think, if you use like a acacia bark or something like that, as opposed to maybe a raw cinnamon thing that they're using here. Because when you use acacia bark or other types of cinnamon bark, I think you get a more woody kind of essence to it. But here, I think they're kind of using more of a ground cinnamon that can be filtered out pretty easily, whereas it's still imparting the cinnamon flavor.
Yes. Now I get confused. I'm sitting here looking at the label. It has a little Pühaste Silver Series. It says 2020.
It does.
But I said 2019 because I bought it in 2019. And when I'm looking at other people who have had the 2019, this has to be the 2020. I said wrong.
This beer is garbage. Your beer is trash. We must throw this away and never speak of it again. No, it's excellent.
I mean, both vintages are made in the same way with the same collaborating brewers. It's just weird because I really had it marked. I bought it as a 2019, but the label clearly says 2020.
Yeah.
It's not completely impossible that somewhere in some cupboard at my home, the 2019 is also lurking.
That's what you're going to you're back like, huh, it was here all along.
Maybe, but this one is good.
Yeah, no, I'm really enjoying this. And this is a beer that you should not cellar. You should definitely drink this, I think, straight out.
Yeah, a lot of the flavors will dissipate for this one. Maybe if you really hate cinnamon, maybe you should cellar it for a year. And maybe vanilla and cinnamon and tonka beans will dissipate, and you will just get bourbon stout.
But I really enjoy this.
So before we started recording, I said to Stefan, only one friend has had this. But now I need to change this. None of our friends have had this.
Good. Just you and me, baby.
Yes.
So I'm going to give this a 4.5.
I'm also going to give it a 4.5.
This was an excellent beer.
I'm really happy about this one.
Yeah, me too.
I brought it specifically to give you a little treat.
Aw, thanks.
Usually I bring weird beers because it's fun to review strange beers.
Yeah.
Sometimes we just need a bourbon barrel-aged imperial stout that is thick and has some fun adjuncts.
Yes, and it's delicious.
Yes.
Most importantly.
Pühaste rarely lets me down.
I have to agree. They are one of those. That and the, what's that French brewery that we get?
Huh? French?
Yeah. Pühaste.
Pühaste or Estonian?
Are they?
Yeah.
What am I thinking of?
And sorry are Estonian.
They're
Finnish Estonian.
Yeah.
French?
French brewery that we get here.
What do they make? Do they make stouts?
Make stouts. Yeah.
What?
I have to think about it. Cannot remember the name right now. But they've been doing really good.
What? Something La Decadence, no?
It's not La Debauche, and it's not La Decadence.
La Debauche is what I'm thinking about.
But they're Swiss. La Debauche is Swiss,
right.
isn't it? I think, or Austrian, something like that. I'll think of it later, and then maybe I'll include it in the show notes.
Maybe. He will not. Whenever Stefan promises to include something in the show notes, it will never be there.
It's always a lie.
Yes.
But we'll think of it, and then we'll mention it to ourselves, and then we'll never talk about it again.
Exactly.
Okay.
We will know.
Until next time, you can find us online at what'sontappodcast.com, Facebook, Spotify, Instagram, YouTube, other places where they have
many various locations
where they have podcasts.
So until next time,
keep drinking your dumb drugs.
This podcast is part of the Pod Syndicate family. For more criminally compelling shows, articles, and conversations, head to wearepodsyndicate.com.